So there's something that I want to share, something I've struggled with for a long time. It still affects me on a daily basis. And I think it's something that almost everyone deals with in their own unique way. And that's fear. I've allowed fear to dictate how I create art. If I create art, when I create art, if I don't create art, it is something that still affects me, not only on a daily basis, but sometimes even on a minute by minute basis. And I just wanted to share it because getting it out there sometimes helps move on. And that's really what I want to do. But it's tough as an artist to have these voices in your head that are always telling you you're not good enough, no one's going to like it, it's a waste of time, you're never going to get paid for it. There are a lot of fear-based barriers that keep me from creating art and have actually stunted my growth as an artist over the last many years. How it kind of relates to writing the Adventures of Andy Jones. It's probably been 6 years or so. I was given the opportunity to illustrate a graphic novel. A friend of mine had written a book and wanted a graphic novel to go along with it. So I had this opportunity to illustrate this graphic novel. Great project, allowed me to get into an area I'd never been in before, but something that I think I would have been good at. But for days and even weeks, I sat in front of the wall. I sat in front of this barrier of fear, and I just couldn't do anything. I was afraid that my work wouldn't be good enough, that people wouldn't like it. And so eventually, enough time went that the project passed, and I never finished it. I barely even started it. It's eaten at me ever since then. So about 2 years ago, when I created the first illustration for Andy's book, it just came out of a time where I just needed to get something out. Threw something down on an old piece of poster board, and I fell in love with the character. After one, I created 2, 3, ended up with over 30, and then someone mentioned to me, like, well, these are great, you need to write a children's book. Well, I've never written anything like this before. The only writing I've done was that in high school and college for creative writing or English class. And now that I think about it, a lot of those papers were bloody red when I got them back. So here I am, another opportunity, huge opportunity to be able to, put myself out there. The stories were there. They're in my head as I was creating the illustrations. This was the point of no return. Either you dive in and do it, or you let fear take over and you just let it go. You let that project, that opportunity just float away in the wind. Another regret. So I jumped in, all in, and I got it finished. I wrote the stories. I laid it out, I put the illustrations together, compiled it all, uploaded it, and it's finished. I got them all finished, all 3 of them, put together, uploaded, and got them out. One of the biggest accomplishments for me, especially considering I'm not a writer. I don't consider myself a writer. I didn't at that time. I think over the last year that may have sunk in, I might embrace that title a little bit more, especially now as I continue to write more. But even after it was finished, and even after I had that moment of excitement and accomplishment, fear came back because I'm self-published. I wasn't good enough to get a real publisher. How many did you sell? You're not good enough to sell enough books for people to really care about, for someone to look at you. So even in the midst of that, I still question myself. And it's been over a year since I published the books because I had put so much of myself into that one project. And when it did launch, and I was hopeful that it would sell well, and when it didn't reach as high as my expectations or even supplement my bank account, I had to move on to other things. And over the next year, I kind of put it off to the side. And then this past August, I have stepped back into the world of Andy, trying to write, doing design, video, whatever I can get my hands on. But the fear is still there. The fear is sometimes completely overwhelming and debilitating, and that it's easier to cope than it is to step into the reality of that fear. And I share that for two reasons. One, hopefully I'm trying to establish some actions that I can take to get out of that fear. Things where creating daily, posting, not worrying about likes or views or any of that, but just to create for the love of my art, to be able to get enjoyment out of the creation. And so I'm in the process of trying to just get stuff out there. Trying to draw, to paint, design. I think, if anything, that maybe this video, whomever watches it, maybe no one. If no one watches this is a good exercise for me. If someone watches this, maybe this could be an opportunity for accountability. For you as the people on the outside to cheer the artists on the inside. Because for every creator, there needs to be an appreciator. And sometimes, most of the time, you need more appreciators than you need creators. It's hard to have a kitchen full of cooks, but nobody to eat the food that they create. Typically, it's one or two cooks to lots of hungry mouths. Well, I hope that you're a hungry mouth for me. The second reason why I share this is for encouragement. Whether you're an artist, whether you're a right brainer, a left brainer, someone who can draw a straight line or can't, we all deal with that fear. That fear is like a cloud that hangs over you. There are even times when it rains and it pours and storms within that cloud that hangs over. I just encourage you, just take one step forward, whatever that may be. It could be having a conversation with someone. It could be drawing your sketchbook, write in your journal, to create, to love someone, to reach out. Maybe it's to slow down. Whatever that fear is that nags at you, that picks at you, that debilitates you, let me encourage you, there's always a way to get through that wall, to get out of that hole, to move on. So find someone who can help you, find someone that can encourage you, that can give you advice, that can just help. Surround yourself with people who love you. And there are people out there who love you. And we'll see where the future leads us.